AZIMIO has set off to collect 10 million signatures to remove President Ruto. Later on, Raila said that it is going to be 15 million signatures. We do not have a provision for signing to remove the president. Actually, I will come back to how the Constitution of Kenya talks about removal of the president. They said they are going to collect 10. Now they are saying it is 15. When just before we had the 2022 general election, the register was closed, whereby there were 12 million registered voters in Kenya. The figure is slightly less than that because some have died, some have been removed because of death, but no addition has been placed because once the elections were over, the commission was supposed to reopen the continuous registration. But all commissioners are out, so the earliest they can reopen is once the commission gets reconstituted. Right now, we do not have even a single commissioner. Since the Constitution does not talk, you know, they are collecting 15, or is it 10? There is no provision for that. You see, there is a provision for changing the Constitution through popular initiative, where people collect signatures the way the AZIMIO are collecting signatures. In that case, in the case of changing the Constitution through popular means, the people who are signing it are supposed to be registered voters. Now, I do not know whether the AZIMIO will keep themselves within the registered voters, or any person, or any Kenyan, or even any person living within Kenya. You see, those are 3 steps. We have 12 million registered voters. Then as per now, 2023, it is estimated that the Kenyan population, consisting of Kenyan citizens and any other person within the geographical boundaries of Kenya, is 57 million. Now, if they are to keep themselves within the registered voters, then it means that if we talk of 10 million signatures, then it means that 2 million registered voters only are not supposed to sign. Or are they talking of all? But then again, after collecting that, there is no provision. After signing that, they said that they are going to start their own electoral commission. They will not recognize the one which is now being registered. Now, I'm seeing these people reading the Constitution selectively and overemphasizing on Article number 1, which says that citizens of Kenya can practice their democratic rights either through elected leaders or through themselves. Now you find that those who are leading this move are elected leaders. Now, if they wanted to be removed from electoral leaders, why don't we have those leaders from AZIMIO who are elected resign so that they take the popular vote? But simply said, they want 10 million, so they'll miss 2, or 15. Now, we have 12. How are they going to include the 3 million? Will it not cause a constitutional crisis? if you want to remove the one of their senior counsels, Otiende Amolo, likes saying that you cannot use an unconstitutional means to change the constitution. Now let us go to ways of removing the president of Kenya as per the constitution, because it is bad to read one section and overemphasize it and then disregard others. The late Otieno Kajwang used to say, Article this as read together with Article this. So you have to read all the articles together and then come up with it. You just don't choose one article that favors you and disregard the several that are against that. But reading all the articles together, we find that these are the ways we can remove the president of Kenya if we want to. First is for us to wait until, if he is serving his second and final term, we just leave him to serve it out, and there's no way he can offer himself as a candidate again. That is one way of him leaving the office. Two, if he's serving the first term, and after the first term, we wait until he finishes the first term. Then we either elect somebody else in his place, or it is possible that the president can serve one term and not be interested in a second term. That is the second way of removing the president. The third way of removing the president in Kenya is the medical way. He is physically or mentally incapable of performing the duties of the head of state. Now, what we do is this. We convince a quota, 25% of members of the National Assembly. We convince them. When they sign to the Speaker of the National Assembly a quota of the elected MPs, they come up, after it is ascertained that a quota have signed, then the Speaker of the National Assembly, in conjunction with the Speaker of the Senate, they form a medical board. They form a medical board consisting of 5 people. 3 have got to be medical people. 1 has got to be a lawyer. Those are now 4. And the 5th one will be somebody selected by the president himself to look into his welfare. Now, in this 5-person committee or commission, it will do its own investigations and it will come out with a finding. The findings are only 2. Is the president capable of performing his duty or not? And if they find that the president is not, they will take it to the Senate, to the Parliament, and the Parliament cannot change the decision of the committee. It will just concur. And on the other hand, they can find that the president is capable. So the Parliament will just endorse whatever decision the 5-person committee decides. It will be ratified by the Parliament, and that would be the end of the story. So if today the 5-person committee finds that William Samoei Arap Ruto is unfit to be the president, then he is removed and Rigathi Gachagua becomes the president. That is after the other option I'm going to say after that. There is the impeachment. You remember, this one is not impeached, but he has just been found to be physically or mentally incapable of performing his duties. Now we come to impeachment. 1/3 of the National Assembly members will have to sign up to the Speaker. And then the Speaker, when the Speaker verifies that 1/3 of the total number of members of the National Assembly have endorsed that. The president will now go through an impeachment motion, similar to what we have seen governors and deputy governors go through the Senate. Now he will appear before the Senate, where atajitetea the way you have seen the governors, and after he has said that through the Senate will then take a vote. And if the Senate, if the 1/3 who signed the there has to be two-thirds concurrence, both at the National Assembly and the Senate. The National Assembly will sit and vote for impeachment. If 2/3 of the National Assembly members agree that he is not fit, then the motion goes to the Senate. Again, he goes through the same. And if both the Senate and the National Assembly both go through by 2/3, the president stands impeached and the deputy president takes over. Now, why is it that even when AZIMIO, all the AZIMIO, they know this. If a simple person like me knows that, they know that. What are they going to do? The issue is that, first of all, Raila being idle, he creates a lot of problems. So he intends to make a lot of problems. Even though, you see, using the same trick several times, maybe you can't succeed the way you used to succeed. The other thing is, Raila wants recognition. Raila wants certain, you remember during Uhuru's time, when people could complain something, Raila would just say that the president or the government has consulted me and have approved. He is missing that. That is what he is missing, and he would be very happy to go back to the same. That's all.